All right, here we go. Hello, hello, and good evening to all. This is Carla Thornton-McClain. You guys, I'm super excited. I have a wonderful guest tonight, Kristina. Kristina. I love you, dear. I'm not going to say your last name because I did it early and I think I mispronounced it. So I'm gonna let Kristina introduce herself. You guys, she's my guest speaker tonight in regards to Instagram. Yay! I'm so excited. I'm ready to learn. And if you wasn't able to jump on the call this evening, then it's fine, you guys. We're going to actually record this call for you. And Kristina, I'm going to go on and turn it over to you, dear.
Okay, thank you so much, Carla. And thank you again for this opportunity to, share with you my experience when it comes to Instagram and to your audience. So thank you again. I'm not sure if you can see me on your screen, so hopefully I'm not like
I
can. Okay, perfect. I didn't know if I was like just in the background behind the slides, but perfect.
No, I can see.
Now there was a picture of me coming up, so it'll put a face to the voice. Okay, so today basically what I'm going to be covering is the key elements that I thought would really benefit your audience and allow them to quickly establish a brand presence on Instagram and quickly grow their ideal following, because that's what's most important. It's really quality over quantity.
Yes.
Definitely on Instagram. So a quick overview of the agenda of what I'll be covering. So I like to call my program the Insta Ready, Set, Grow. And ready is basically we're getting everything ready behind the scenes to show up online. Set is basically setting the foundation of your Instagram profile so you're able to receive new visitors. And then grow, basically what everybody wants on Instagram.
Yes.
Is to grow our followings. And so here I'll be sharing with you the key tactics that we should definitely hone in on to be able to quickly grow your account on Instagram.
Okay.
So quick introduction in case I didn't show, this is me. My name is Kristina Soriano, and I founded Migo Social basically when COVID hit, and I'll be touching a little bit more about my background. But what I do is I help coaches with equipping them with their personal branding. I help them to overcome Instagram overwhelm because it is real and I've been there, still digging out of it, it exists, and how to grow and convert ideal clients. So a little bit of a backstory about me. I was born in Atlanta, Georgia, and I now reside in Miami, Florida. So please do not hate me because our weather is beautiful down here right now. I married my high school sweetheart, and we actually just made 19 years married together. I have a daughter who just turned 5 years old, and due to the pandemic, I am now also a homeschool pre-K teacher.
Okay.
Here's a couple of the brands that I've worked with in the past, starting by the Miami Heat and a few restaurant and hospitality brands. We've got some like Diageo, Bacardi, and this is just, has allowed me to work with various types of brands. And this is where I really fell in love with branding. Okay. And let's fast forward a little bit now to today. I am actually, due to the pandemic, no longer with the Estee Lauder companies, but this is where I really found my passion for digital marketing, as in particularly Instagram, and a little bit of my story and how I became to just fall in love with this platform. I worked in a department called Store Design and Construction for travel retail. So anything you saw in airports, cruise ships, that came out of my department. And I decided to start an Instagram account just because we had so many talented individuals within our department, architects, designers, and I really just wanted to showcase that and highlight, the projects that we were pumping out of that department. So I, got permission. I started an Instagram account and just started collecting our content and posting it. And quickly, I was able to grow the account and gain attention within the company. And I was then asked to be the social media lead for the largest employee resource group within the company, the Women's Leadership Network. And so I was able to quickly grow those accounts. And then they asked me to be the global social media lead for all Women's Leadership Networks, ERGs, which was the Women's Supply Chain and Women Technology. So
Awesome.
this is where I really was able to like hone in on different strategies. And now I'm taking that experience and pouring it into Migo Social, flipping the camera around and trying to grow my personal brand now.
Okay.
So we're going to start off with the first section, which is ready, getting our mindset ready. And I feel like what's really important to understand is what is Instagram. So I'm going to go a little bit into why Instagram is so powerful and why it's beneficial for your brand to be on Instagram. So currently there are 1 billion monthly active users on the platform, which is huge. If we could just have 1% of that, we're doing good. Then we also have 83% of Instagram users say that they use Instagram to discover new products or services, which I'm one of those 83%. I definitely, when I find a new product, I check out Instagram, or if I find a new restaurant, we go to Instagram to check it out and see, more about the place. And also there's 4 times more interaction compared with Facebook. So that's good because I am not Facebook savvy.
Okay.
And the average user spends about 53 minutes on the platform. So Instagram is a great place to be able to, let me just make sure I didn't skip a slide, and I didn't, good. What it does is it puts a face to the brand and really allows you to humanize the brand and create a deeper relationship with your ideal audience. It helps you to build trust, credibility, and authority within your niche. You grow your audience. When you grow your audience, you're able to now take them off the platform either to a Facebook group or to your LinkedIn or to your website. And that's where the value comes in. You're able to convert those clients. It allows you to interact directly with your audience, and you're able to show appreciation and really build that deeper connection with your audience. And again, you're able to drive traffic to your site. And what's really amazing is that you're able to collect real-time feedback. So if you just ask them, what do you guys want to see from me? What do you want to learn? It's a great way to just get straight to the point and get that market feedback. Now I want to address the boogeyman, which is the Instagram algorithm. And you hear so many things about, oh, they're not showing my posts, or they're shadow banning me, or they're not showing me to my audience or who you want to go to. But basically, at the end of the day, what matters most to the algorithm is engagement. And engagement is the likes, the comments, the saves, the shares, and the reposts that you receive on your account. So what is ranking highest right now with the algorithm would be your shares. Why? Because if people are sharing your content to other people, then Instagram's going to look at that and say, wow, this is a great account, and they're producing great content that people are resonating with, and they're sharing it with the masses. So if that's happening, they're going to push your content in front of more people. So you definitely want to encourage, and we'll dive deeper into this in a little bit, but you definitely want to ensure that you're maximizing each post and creating that engagement, and moving the audience into either liking the photo or adding a comment or starting that discussion, because again, the platform is basically made to be social. So that's what they want you to do. Now we're going to dive deeper into personal branding and the importance of personal branding, especially on Instagram. So I love this quote that branding is what people say about you when you're not in the room. And I think that is extremely true. So I took a few branding classes when I was back in my college days. And I just love the fact that you could create this emotion with just a product or a brand, and it could resonate so much with an audience. So when you think of Coca-Cola, or when you think of, I don't know why Pizza Hut just pops into mind, maybe because we love Pizza Hut, but like Pizza Hut for me, it reminds me of being in elementary school. It's just, how they can build that connection with that brand emotion for the company. And so basically, when you're transforming that into personal branding, and how that applies to Instagram is that personal branding allows you to, discover and really embrace what makes you different. There's a bunch of people probably all doing the same thing, but it's you are the one who makes your brand unique, and your target audience want to work with you. It's your personal branding. It also allows you to build a reputation for what you want to be known for. So for me, I would like to be known as an Instagram expert. And so niching down and really honing in on all these Instagram tips, it's going to allow me to become known as that expert to my ideal following, the one who they resonate with me. And again, it allows you to be known for those things that you want to be known for. Again, it also allows you to be established or viewed as an expert. It increases your visibility. It increases trust with your audience because they get to know the human side behind the brand. And it also increases your network because those people who resonate with you might introduce, or just like how we met, we'll meet and then it just connects with other people. I can't tell you how many friends I have made on the platform. It's just a great way to really find people who are like you, your tribe, as I like to call it.
Right.
And I love this quote because I really think it captures, at the end of the day, people might not remember what you said, but they will remember how you made them feel.
True.
So, I know a lot of people say, oh, I remember the video of you and your daughter. And those are just ways that I'm allowing my personal brand, which, family is a huge component. And people might not remember the 5 tips that I gave them about such and such, but they will remember that emotion of seeing me with my daughter or, of the sorts. And so I'm a huge believer in personal brand storytelling and again, building that emotion. So just really quickly, I wanted to mention how you can take your story and be able to apply that to Instagram and to your audience. So what I like to do is at least find 3 major shifts in your life where there was a huge transition. So for instance, for me, my transitions that lead into Instagram and Instagram marketing was when I was graduating from college and I was making a total career shift from the healthcare industry into what I became passionate about, which was marketing and branding. And that's when I began working with those brands such as the Miami Heat. Then also the birth of my daughter. That was a huge transition for me in my life, not only because of the lack of sleep, but I knew that this was the most important little person to me ever. And I wanted to have that freedom and, opportunity to be able to be with her and watch her grow. And then lastly, my story here, you can see with the little lipstick, is Estee Lauder. And basically that's where I discovered my passion for Instagram marketing. About 4 years ago, I had no idea what an Instagram influencer was. Like I just used Instagram to just tell my story of becoming a new mom and, my baby's first steps and all those things. So once you define those 3 transitions, then you want to find what's common between them in between. So for me, there's certain items such as, how do I brand myself now to be on Instagram and tell my story? And also, how do I get over this Instagram overwhelm with not really knowing much about the platform? My position in the company at Estee Lauder was totally different. It was project management, but I taught myself and, I put myself out there to learn Instagram. And then once you have those connectors, then those are the points. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mention, but the connectors, you want to tie them in with what you want to be an expert in. So that way everything comes together and you're able to really speak directly to your target audience and what their pain points are. So for me, I felt like it speaks to my audience. We're trying to build an online presence. We are trying to figure out how to navigate and build a brand on Instagram. And we also want to know, okay, how can we do this and be profitable off of it? And so I wanted to touch on this as well. It's a little bit more in my section when I talk about content planning and curation, but I did want to include it. And so I thought, okay, it could tie in with personal branding. So when you're coming up with content for your account, you don't want to always be just like sell, or just kind of all over the place. So, if you couldn't talk about your business, so for instance, transformational coaching, what else would you talk about? And that's where you want to come up with your brand's themes for your account. And basically what this does is it not only does it help with content curation, content planning, but it also supports your personal brand and your brand story. So mine, for instance, for Migo Social are Instagram tips, personal branding, my family, mindset, and time-saving tips for the platform. So what this does is basically allows me to have a broader sense of what I'm covering and what I'm teaching. And it allows my audience to get to know a little bit more about me. And it helps to create content because right there off the bat, I have 5 days worth of content. So if I just wanted to post during the week and take the weekends off, which currently what I do, you have those 5 different themes that you could talk about. So now that we know about Instagram, the basics, and we understand our personal branding and our personal brand story, now we're going to go into our ideal client, which I'm sure, most people starting in business would know about, okay, who we're going to niche down to, but it's super, super critical when you're on the Instagram platform to really define who your ideal client is. That's going to make all the difference. Oops. I don't know how that slide got there. It looked like it got moved. But basically, here we go. So your target market isn't everybody. Right. And so for me, for instance, I could say, well, everybody needs social media, so I'll just, throw my services to everybody. But basically, what that does is it makes your messaging unclear because you're not clear on who your ideal client is and what their pain points are. So for me, I niche down to life coaches. Okay. Even at that, I had to niche down even more. So I said, okay, well, moms who are starting their life coaching business or already have launched their business, but they're launching on Instagram now. And, we don't have a lot of time. And so that's where the time saving tips come in. And basically what that helps me to do is, pull together my content. It allows me to speak directly to my audience with clear messaging. And at the end of the day, what that does is it also helps to convert those clients because they feel like you're speaking directly to them. In addition, being very crystal clear on who you want to target, it allows you to be known as an expert within that industry. So again, it's going to help you become an expert. It's going to increase your visibility because, even the hashtags that you're going to use are very specific to that niche. And we'll get more into hashtags in a little bit. But it'll also allow you to build trust with your audience because they're going to feel like, wow, she's speaking directly to me. She knows what I'm going through. And again, like we mentioned, it'll help you to expand your network because let's say somebody speaks to someone, they're going to, talk to her because she knows about Instagram. Because that's what they know what I post about. I was going to say what I preach about. So again, just recapping, by not niching down and being clear on your ideal client, you're going to have unclear brand messaging. You're going to experience burnout or frustration because you're trying to just, like a hamster on a wheel, not knowing why, or you're like in quicksand. So, and then you're also going to have missed opportunities because people are not going to really know what it is you offer. So basically what I recommend to find your ideal audience is to really just dig deep and research who it is you want to target. You could do one-on-one surveys. You could also just ask anybody who's your ideal client and ask them directly, like, what are your pain points or what it is that you're struggling with. You can even just perform a Google search, which is why I have the Google search here. You can just search online and say, what are business owners struggling with starting on Instagram? That was very generic, but you get the idea. Okay. So now we're going to move into, and I have a feeling that slide that I left back there, I hope I don't forget it because it moved. But now we're going to move into what I like to call setting the foundation of your Instagram presence, which is your profile optimization. And I really go deep into this, but basically here's an overview of your Instagram profile. So you start with your profile name, And basically, I actually did a post on that today, but I'll give a quick little overview. So your profile name, you just want to make sure that it's something that's easy and memorable. Because, and I put on my post, I think there was an example of supercalifragilistic expialidocious. If you put that, someone's not going to remember it. Or if you put like 00011, it will be very hard for somebody to remember. So, if you're a coach, I always recommend using your name if possible. If there's someone who already has your name, well, you can get creative with it and put the official and your name, or your name, life coach, along those lines, or I am and your name. And so that will help you to make it easy, but also, it differentiates you. Then we have your profile photo, which, again, if you're a coach, I recommend putting a picture of your face, clear, try to remove the background just so that your face really pops. You want to ensure that it's fitting correctly inside of the allowed space. And why? Because this is going to help you build that deeper connection with your audience. Because if you're a life coach and all they see is a logo, that's why I was scared of the slides. If it didn't show me and I was just a voice in the background, it's harder to build that connection because they can't see you. They don't know who's speaking to them. Right. So yeah, definitely you want to have a full face photo there, and smile. You want to smile because you want people to, to feel welcomed. Then your headline, which is your profile name, you'll see there that I have Kristina Instagram growth. So I want to call out here that is a searchable key term area. It's like a SEO. Okay. And basically, I have Instagram growth. So if somebody was searching in the search bar within Instagram, and let's say they were typing in life coach, because it's in that space, you have the opportunity to be shown to whoever's searching it, even if it's not in your name. So it's a really great opportunity to maximize, somebody looking for your services. Okay. And then your title, I know there's different ones on Instagram. So just, you can, in the edit profile, look through and see which one fits closer to your business. And then this is a really key part, this brand statement. That's where a new visitor is up to your profile is going to go to. And in like 3 seconds, they'll be able to learn about what your profile is about and if it's worth them even looking to the rest of your profile to see if they follow you. So here's where you want to include your I help statement, if you want to say, and basically it's who you help, what you help with them with, like their pain points, and the results they can expect. Okay. So with those 3 items, it's gonna right off the bat, let somebody know, okay, she helps coaches and speakers. All right, well, I'm a fitness coach, so I really don't need to follow her profile, for instance. And you can get creative. You can, you have 130 characters, so you have to be very creative because there's not a lot of space. It won't let you add more. But you can definitely break up those sentences with little emojis or something, that highlights what it is. And it just makes it more fun and more inviting when somebody lands on your profile. And this is actually an older one that I need to update. I've since changed my bio. And that's a good point because you can change your bio, try to keep those same core elements, but mix it up a little bit to see, it might resonate better with your ideal audience. So definitely at the beginning, you might want to change that out and just see what's really working. Okay. And then also you have your call to action, which is above your link in bio. So you'll see I have my website, and above that it says sign up for more tips. And so your call to action is basically just giving that nudge of what action you want a new visitor or even your followers to take. So that could be anything. It could be, sign up for a 30-minute free consultation, and you would highlight that in your post, and we'll get into that in a few minutes. But, you definitely want to maximize that space with the call to action with whatever you have going on. And that could always change. It's not a problem. And then you have your location, which your location is great, just, pre-COVID. I guess how things are opening up now, but it was great because if somebody was looking for a life coach, let's say in their local area, they could search life coach and you might come up just because of the geographic location. And then also below, we have your highlights. And this is basically the website of your brand on Instagram. And in fact, I saw that there were studies showing that, people are going to Instagram before they even go to a website. Like I said, I go straight to Instagram if I find a new restaurant or a new brand that I want to check out. It's just all in one place. So the highlights are really key. And basically what those are they're their stories that you put, your Instagram stories, and those have a 24-hour lifespan. So if you want to permanently house those Instagram stories, you can put them as your Instagram highlights. And those will be there as long as you want them to be there. And it's definitely a good place to put, to build off of your brand statement. So if somebody wants to learn more about your brand after reading your brand statement, they would go to your highlights and say, okay, this is more about. So you have an about me section. You could talk about your services. You could talk about mindset. There's a lot of different options you can put.
Okay.
I definitely recommend the sweet spot is having about 5 to 8 highlights.
Okay.
Only because the majority of people are viewing Instagram on their phones.
Okay.
So on that first page, you'll fit about 5, and then you have to click an arrow to take you to the next half of your highlights. And it's kind of like a website. If it's overwhelming or it's not easy to navigate, that's happened to me, and I log off automatically because you just get frustrated and you can't figure it out. So it's kind of the same concept here. If somebody clicks to the other side and they see just like 30 more highlights, they're going to be like, oh my goodness, it's like overwhelmed. Okay. So you want to be strategic about the highlights that you're putting on your feed. Again, it's like for me, for instance, I would put Instagram tips. I could put personal branding tips, more about mom life, mindset, and time-saving ideas. So it's a great opportunity for people to even learn more about your company and your brand. And then I wanted to recommend that these are some posts that I have posted to my account in the past that really dive deeper into each of these topics when it comes to optimizing your bio. So for instance, you have your name, an entire post dedicated to your just putting your name together. And you have one about the highlights again. So definitely check out my account because there are a lot more tips that I dive into when it comes to optimizing your profile. Okay, now I'm going to go over the different growth methods. Now these are all organic growth methods. There's no paid ads or, any of the like. And we're going to start off with your captions because this is key. So basically you want to think of these 3 questions when you're drafting your caption. So always know, who am I posting for? What is it that you have in mind that or the value you want them to receive? If I'm posting something on my personal account for my family, it's not going to be about Instagram tips or, part of it, but I'm not going to post on my Migo account about just, oh, look, I'm eating a salad today, because people will be like, what does that have to do with anything of your account?
Okay.
And you want to ask yourself, why does it even matter to them? What type of value are you adding to your audience? And then very important is, what action do you want people to take? And here again, it's, that call to action. Do you want them to click your link in bio? Do you want them to reach out to you to set up a free consultation? So those are just a few ideas. So the first thing is, in your caption, I don't know if you've noticed that when you're scrolling, you can see the first few words, and then it says more and a ... and you have to click on the dot. So basically that's your hook, your attention grabbing statement for like public speakers. When you first say that opening line and you're trying to like gain the attention of the audience, same concept here. So you want to open it with something that really like wows them. So for instance, here's a few options. You have like, you could be their guide, something that relates to the audience, or you can tell them a secret. So, the ultimate guide too. If I saw that, I would be like, oh my gosh, I need to know what this is. And that would inspire me to click on the more button and continue reading the caption. And then after your opening statement, you have the body of the caption. And basically all your captions, you want to make sure that you're either inspiring educating or entertaining your audience. So for instance, on my account, here's several different options where one, I'm telling a story, and this is the confessions of a aspiring speaker. And you can just see my face there that I'm like, ah. And we also, I'm asking a question here and I'm inviting my audience to ask me any questions. And then a list, for instance, I'm listing out different, I do a lot of lists, but I list out the different tips for whatever that topic was. I can't even see right now. And then always good, and this is a big one for me, is short and sweet. You know, just sometimes not everybody wants to read an entire post, and you know, so it's every once in a while it's fine to like just get straight to the point. And then lastly, again, the call to action, super important, because we're tying it back to the algorithm now. Engagement is what's super important on Instagram. So those are those likes, the comments, the shares. You know, you want to click my link in bio or sign up for my 30-day challenge, share with a friend, or save this post to refer to later. All those engagement tips are like what the algorithm is definitely searching for. So you really want to take advantage of every single caption that you put out there. And then here, basically, I'm just using an example from my account, really just pinpointing each of the different components of a caption. So you'll see at the beginning, are your captions attention grabbing? Save this post. So I'm including another call to action even at the beginning. Then here you see my supportive body that really just breaks up, you know, what I'm talking about. And I do want to mention this. If you see on my caption, there's white space or black space with my background, but there's space in between my caption. So it's not just one long paragraph, because when people see just text and text and text, they get overwhelmed and they probably won't read it. I know I don't. I'm like, ooh, that's a lot.
I wouldn't either.
Yeah. So you want to make sure, and you know, now you can actually add those spaces within Instagram. I recommend putting it in your notes app on your phone, putting everything there, being able to add the emojis. And emojis are great because they help, you know, add some color. They make it easier on the eyes and clear to really just get your point across. And then lastly, the call to action that I put, which is double tap if you agree. And it's a simple one. Next, we're going to go into hashtags, which, ooh, hashtags, it's like a love-hate relationship. You know, when I was in Estee Lauder, it was a closed account. It was private to just the employees of the company. Which there were 80,000 employees, so that was a lot of people, an audience that I had to reach out to, but I had to learn a lot when it came to, you know, how to really optimize hashtags. So basically, a hashtag is a label for content, and I like to think about it as a file cabinet. So let's say you have a folder, a file, and you, on your post, or a piece of paper, you're going to put a hashtag on it. So that basically means that hashtag or that paper is going to go into the folder for that particular hashtag within the file cabinet. So that kind of just helped me put around like, what's the point of a hashtag? Okay. So here are the different touch points and the quantities that you can use on Instagram for your hashtags. So you have your bio. They can go in your I didn't mention that earlier, that your bio, you can strategically use hashtags because, again, it's SEO searchable area. So let's say you want to put, and this is just a generic example, and I wouldn't recommend it, but you could put hashtag life coach, for instance, or a great opportunity is put any branded hashtags that you might have. So for me, I could put hashtag Nigo Social, and it actually has a lot of benefits because you're already getting your audience used to, here's my hashtag, you know, use it in your content, or if you're relating to my account. And it's also good for content curation. So if someone's using the Migo Social hashtag, I can click in there and just check and see, oh, great, somebody used it and I could use it as content. So it could be a customer testimonial or, you know, along the sorts. You can also put your hashtags in your caption, which I don't necessarily recommend because you're allowed to use up to 30. And if you're putting them in your caption, it just kind of looks overwhelming. So I would recommend definitely putting it in the first comment. So right after you put your post, click on the comment, like if you're leaving somebody a comment, and add those there.
Okay.
And then I'm surprised that I'm talking longer than expected. I don't want to go over too much, but again, you can use them in your Instagram stories, your IGTVs, and your Instagram reels.
Okay.
And those are all the different quantities. And you really want to maximize and use the ones that you're able, the allowed amount.
Okay.
And here's just a little good to knows that, hashtags start with a hashtag symbol. They're a combination of letters and numbers. Don't use any spaces because they won't show. No symbols because they won't work. They won't show as a hashtag. And anybody can create one. And again, don't overload your captions with hashtags. And I'll quickly touch on this, and the importance of hashtags is because if you've ever gone to the Explore page or the search page, you'll see that, let's say we look up a hashtag. There's two types of hashtags. So you have top and recent. So the goal is to land on the top section of the hashtags. Why? Because they'll be there longer. If you are under recent, try it. You'll put a hashtag, search it, and then wait like a minute and refresh it. And you'll see that all the posts that were there are probably updated already to different posts. Because whoever is using that hashtag, it's going to continue just updating. And how am I doing on time? I don't want to take you too far over. Am I good?
Actually, I'm looking at your time on the clock there. Is that, do you see it, Kristina? You have a clock running up top there. Is that it on your presentation?
Oh, so you're seeing all my notes and everything?
I'm seeing that, yeah, but I've been listening to you, but I see the 39 minutes.
Okay, well, the good thing is I haven't been using my notes, so I'm pretty proud of myself.
No, Kristina, I haven't really been paying attention. I'm listening to you.
Oh my goodness, that's horrible. Well, I'm learning.
Yes, we're learning something every day.
Better for your eye. Well, okay, we're just gonna go with my notes. I'm so sorry.
Oh don't like I said, don't worry about it. And believe it or not, Kristina, it actually probably will help some people. So no, you're fine.
Okay, good. So basically, let me make sure I didn't skip one. Okay, no, I didn't. So these are the different size ranges of hashtags, okay. And it's important. For instance, there it explains the different size ranges, and basically what we want to do. Well, I'm just saying me out of experience. Maybe there's some of your audience that have thousands of followers, but for accounts that have less than 1,000 followers, okay, really what we want to focus on is more of the small and medium-sized hashtags. Okay. And the reason is because those hashtags that have over 1 million or even 700,000, that means that they're really flooded. There's a lot of people using that hashtag. So the chances of us getting noticed or landing as that top post are very limited. Okay. Slim to none chances. So if we focus on more smaller niche hashtags and medium hashtags, we have a better opportunity of landing as a top post. And, once you land as a top post, then you're exposed to a broader audience. Okay. So that's the goal. So definitely for accounts under 1,000, you want to make sure that you're using small to medium. And then here's a breakdown of the quantities. And, okay, I highly recommend, creating separate hashtag groups. And I'm going to touch on the next slides because everyone can see, but touching on different hashtag groups. Why? Because you want to rotate your hashtags to see which ones are really working. And that you can check through your insights through the platform. And it doesn't get as detailed, but it'll give you a better understanding how much of your traffic is coming from your hashtags.
Oh, awesome. Okay.
And then here, basically, it's which hashtags should you use. And you want to use a mixture of industry hashtags, okay, your audience hashtags. So what are the hashtags that your audience is looking for, or what are they searching for in relation to your business? This is what really confused me at the beginning. Then you also want to use hashtags that are related to the image, because Instagram has photo recognition technology within the platform. So for instance, if I posted a picture, or let's say I was searching for flower wallpaper for my daughter's room, and I search on the Instagram app and I'm looking at the, flower wallpaper, and then I see a post that has nothing to do with flower wallpaper. It has a beach or something. I'm going to say, why is that here? And so basically that's why Instagram, the algorithm takes that into account, because they want to make sure they're showing their audience what they're looking for.
Okay.
So make sure you just sprinkle in like one or two that have to do with the photo. And then branded hashtags. Again, you want to just use like maybe one very strategically. If you see my account, I end it with hashtag Migo Social. And basically, again, I just use that for brand recognition and for content curation.
Oh, okay.
And then here's some tips. What you can do is just think about the hashtags or your ideal client, what they would be looking for in this category. So for minds, or for a transformational coach, maybe it's mindset matters, or transformational Tuesday. Just those are just some ideas. And then what you can also do is check on the industry leaders and see what they're using. Look at accounts that have a similar target audience to you, and that will help give you ideas. Now, again, you want to be careful because they might have, thousands of followers. And if you're using their hashtags, they might be at a different category where they're able to use those really big hashtags and get featured still, because why? Their engagement is higher.
Right. Okay.
So that's where it all kind of comes into play. Oops, there we go. And then here's some sites that you could check out that will just help you, get started. So they're hashtag idea generator sites.
Oh, okay.
And what I highly recommend is on your phone, like on a notes app or something, create different notes that have like hashtag groups. So that way, when you're putting your posts, you can automatically just copy and paste them into your first comment, which is what I recommend. And then basically, yeah, you just want to test, learn, rinse, and repeat. So mix, rotate those hashtag groups, and find out what's working, what's driving more traffic to your profile. What I do want to say, touching on that, is that if you look at your account profile and look at your different posts and see which ones receive the highest engagement, so then that way you can start noticing trends, and it could be, oh, people are really engaging when I do video, or, if it's a photo of me and my daughter, or, maybe my caption was really good and they're really resonating with what I'm talking about here. And it could even be your hashtag. So, just keep track of those high performing posts every so often, and that'll help you to put together, content that is resonating with your audience and help you to boost those numbers and grow your following. And so lastly, which is community management, which I think is extremely important. And that's really how I was able to grow such a huge following in Estee Lauder. And basically, it's the more accounts the more engagement with your ideal followers and relevant accounts, you're building those relationships. So the more relationships that you build, you're also increasing your engagement levels because you're communicating more with people on the platform. But, those targeted engagement and those targeted accounts that you're communicating with, it's going to allow you to grow your customer base. And this is a big one. Don't post and ghost. Whenever you post, they would say, what time should I post on Instagram? Well, you definitely want to take into account your peak hours that your audience is on. And this is something that you can check in your Instagram insights. So you definitely want to make sure that you have your profile account set to a business account, because if it's on personal, it's not going to allow you to check your insights. So if you check your insights and you scroll down, you'll be able to see the optimal, the peak times that your audience is on. Okay. So basically, that's going to help you know when to post, but you also want to post when you have time to dedicate to respond to comments, to respond to people who are DMing you, because that's helping you to build that trust and that engagement with your audience. And again, so you want to make sure that you're replying and you're engaging, and that's, huge in community management. So, when you're replying to your comments, to your DMs, to any tagged photos that you're tagged in, you want to make sure that you're keeping that communication with your audience. And then you also want to engage. So what I do is I break it up and, 15 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes in the afternoon, maybe 10 minutes at night. And I'm engaging with people who would be my ideal clients or who are like related to the industry. And so, for instance, an example could be, just one of my strategies. I go to life coach academies, and there I'll look at their followers and I'll just scroll through and I see who is somebody that would be my ideal client. And basically what I do is I look at their content and I see a post that they have that really resonates with me, because, you want to be authentic and leave genuine comments. So if I find something, I'll just write what I feel about it and I'll follow them. And, they have an opportunity to look at my account and say, yeah, I can follow her, or no, not really worth it. Again, that's why we really want to maximize or optimize our profile. And so basically that's, what engaging with the community is about. And then I'm going to throw my little tagline, which is, as me go social, we go social. So thank you so much. And I'm sorry that my whole notes and everything were showing out, but this is the real world, and I'm growing my business as well. So
no, and you're okay. And I was going to ask you like really quick, Kristina, and I know, like I said, we had set a certain time, but real quick, and let me know, I had some questions I wanted to ask you, like really fast, if I can.
No, don't worry.
And I don't know if you talked about it and I didn't know, because I know when I spoke with you before, Reels, is that something you talked about and I just didn't know? Or is that something you touched base on, Kristina, or you didn't?
I didn't really touch on Reels here yet.
Okay, now I can get
stories is like my favorite.
You later though, because I think you and I mentioned that, and I definitely was curious about those. So we'll set something up. So I definitely need to.
Yeah, Reels is something that you really gotta, like, no pun intended, but you gotta dig deep into.
Yeah, that's something that I need to actually set up sometime and get with you. Promoting a post, like a video, because I know on some of mine on Instagram it'll say like promoting, but I know on Facebook. So is that concept kind of the same? When you're promoting it, is to reach, how you say, a bigger audience, as well as though when you're promoting, because on Facebook, when you say boost on Facebook, in other words, they're paid ads. Is that the same concept with Instagram? When they say promoting, you're going to pay, if you will, right, when you're doing that, correct?
Well, to be 100% honest with you, I haven't promoted. However, I did see that you can promote a post just to see how for instance, like the hashtags that you're using or the content that you're putting out, just to get an idea, is like, is this what I'm putting out? Is it really resonating with my audience? Okay. So you test it out, push promote, and then check those analytics. And that's going to help you to see, from what I understand, like to get a better insight into your content that you're putting out there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And if you have, because I heard you talking about this, and this definitely was an important question, Kristina, if you have, and this wants your opinion, if you have more than one business, like I have 3 now, I actually just launched my last one, tomorrow will be a week ago. So mine actually did start out with, in other words, with being a health and wellness consultant in Arbonne, which I still am. But with the transformation life coach, I kind of went in, like you said, and I think I have both of them up there. But transformation life coach, to me, pretty much it entails in Arbonne and what we do. But do you suggest, because I actually have, like you said, an IG, I have a personal and a business account. So would you suggest if someone have a business, like they need to set up, I guess what I was thinking, which I think it could be overwhelming though, Instagram for each one, or no, or just take that one and make it out of pretty much all your businesses? Because in other words, my businesses, all 3 of them, they intertwine, if you will.
Okay.
They intertwine. They're all about transformation. So I was thinking, I don't think I really should have to create a whole different one. You don't have to, right?
Well, if you have, it's like what you're saying, they all kind of relate to each other. And I think that's a great opportunity to use those 5 themes.
Okay.
And combine it under one. And so that way it's, it's not all over the place. It's more defined, and people know, she's going to talk about health and wellness. She's going to speak about mindset or transformational coaching. So I think if you group it together in that way, it'll be clear to your audience and they won't be overwhelmed.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I was actually looking for. And I was like, yeah, because you want, like you said, someone to no one to get overwhelmed, believe me, because I do not like being overwhelmed. So I definitely don't want to cause somebody else to be overwhelmed. But that was definitely a question. Kristina, before we actually get off, if someone, because I definitely need to set something up with you. I mean, this is great. And even to put out there to my audience, I mean, because like I said, I recorded this, so they're going to be able to kind of stop and follow through. But I definitely, you gave a lot of good tips. I mean, as you see, I said I wasn't going to take notes. As you see it on the sticky notes, I still was taking notes. Even though it was because I was like, oh my gosh, she's talking about something. Oh, that's good. I didn't know about that. So if someone wants to reach out to you, Kristina, and like actually, in other words, set something up, or if they want to become, how you say, one of your clients, if you will, what would they need to do? What information, how would they reach out to you?
Well, I definitely recommend reaching out on Instagram. I mean, that is like, I think I respond to Instagram DMs faster than a text.
Okay.
And it's kind of a twofold, because you're getting in contact with, me quickly, but also we're increasing engagement on both sides because we're DMing each other. So Instagram algorithm is going to be like, oh, wow, these people are being social on the platform. They're engaging. So I feel like that counts. So I really, with my coaching clients, I DM Instagram.
Okay. So that's definitely the best way to actually get in contact with you. Okay. It sounds like, okay, over on Instagram. And if they didn't know, and I can include this if this is okay, and because I'm going, like I said, this is recorded and put it out there for the audience. So Kristina, is it okay for me to put, and like you have it there as well, they can see it though. Is that what they would follow, the Hello Migos social, right?
Yes, that's my Instagram handle, Hello Migos social.
Okay, and what I'll also do, Kristina, if it's okay, like I said, it is there, but I'll also put that, how you say, in the how you say, I'm recording this, but in the, how you say, the content part, if you will. I want to make sure people get your information, okay? Now, as far as me, like I said, I will definitely reach out to you and we'll set something up, because I know how to get in contact with you. But at this time, I want to say, oh God, thank you so much. This was an amazing call. I know that I learned a lot and definitely want to learn more from you, Kristina. But thank you for taking the time out, and it's definitely been a pleasure. I'm so thankful and blessed that I was, like I said, that we crossed paths, and I'm definitely looking forward to working with you in 2021. So I will definitely probably be reaching out to you again, because I know you did this webinar for me. So thanks for taking the time out to do that. But I also will definitely probably be reaching out as far as just doing an interview with you if you don't mind. And that way people can get to know a little bit more about you, because I know a lot of people like to, how you say, if you will, learn a little bit more about someone sometimes before, because they feel like they get to know the person, like you did. So I'll definitely reach out. But as far as me, definitely, and some more questions and learning some more, I definitely will be reaching out to you really soon. And then, like I said, and then we can set something up, so whatever works for you. But I was gonna say, I'm not gonna keep you. I know how you say, was on here longer, but the good thing is, so much information. Oh my God, so much good information.
That was helpful.
Yes, no, thank you so much. And also, once I do this, if you will, Kristina, send that host back over to me real quick, because I need to.
Okay, let me see here.
Let me see.
I need to take a course on Zoom, to be honest with you.
Okay, let me